friends, Zoe here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the journey of self-worth. This is a journey that we're all on, and it definitely comes in different layers, and I've recently uncovered a few layers and had some breakthrough experiences and learnings and understandings, so I thought it would be very valuable to bring this forward to you guys today. If you like my videos on self-improvement and spirituality, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps other people see it who might need it in their lives as well. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so I'm without Princess Jasmine, my palm tree, here today because if you guys have been following along, you know that I'm about to make a big move to a different country. So I'm getting rid of a lot of my belongings, and you can follow along that journey on my new vlog channel if it interests you. So just letting you know, that's why the set looks a little bit different, and also it's a bit of a cloudy day, so the light might change here and there. But what's important is the content that I'm about to bring forward to you, the messages that I'm about to bring forward to you. So like I mentioned, self-worth, like this is a lifelong journey. This is what we came here to understand more of ourselves and how to feel more worthy, whole, and complete within ourselves. Today, I'm going to specifically be talking about how recognizing the places in which you seek external validation from the three-dimensional reality can give you some key insights on the relationship you have with yourself and what might need to be looked at to feel more whole, worthy, and complete in yourself. So I'm going to be speaking to you about my relationship with YouTube and content creation because this is something I've shared with you in the past, and I think it will just ignite some awarenesses within you, whether or not you are a content creator, just the ways in which you put out what you do into the world or how you show yourself to the world. So my journey with YouTube has been an interesting one. My journey with content creation has been an interesting one. It started from my heart space, as in I just wanted to create YouTube videos to make friends and document my life in different ways and just share experiences with people, and that all happened, and then also there was this aspect of virality, or my move to Rome caught a lot of attention, and some videos went viral, getting over like 1 million views, and you know, I started to find that I was getting attached subconsciously and consciously to numbers and seeking the validation from the platform that is YouTube, or let's say the platform that is Instagram, and making it mean different things about me. So what I mean by that is that this came in all different aspects. Like it came from, you know, looking at numbers and making that mean whether or not content was good or not, whether or not I was good enough, or what I was creating was good enough. And it also came in this way of getting attached to comments, right? The comment section. There will always be an array of different people in this world who have an array of different opinions who comment that on videos. And in the past, I've gotten very triggered by negative comments, very triggered. And I've also gotten dopamine hits, let's say, like those little, you know, excited hits when I've gotten good comments or positive feedback on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever that might be. And I recognize, okay, so it's just this journey of such highs and lows, but at the end of it, I don't feel fulfilled, right? I don't feel good within me. There's something here that's like consistently searching for the validation. And what I found with YouTube and like looking at the comment section is that I could have, you know, let's say 90% positive, and then there'd be 10% not so positive, or even to be judged as a negative. And that would be what I would focus on. I would focus on the ones that triggered me into a negative headspace and a negative feeling space versus the ones that, you know, were positive, kind, heartfelt comments. And it was hard for me to balance that, right? It was hard for me to balance that because on this side of the screen, it's just me creating content that I feel called to share intuitively. It's something beyond me. And I had gotten very frustrated and have been frustrated in the last couple of years in different spaces and times with YouTube and content creation because I've only ever shared what I felt called to share. I've only ever shared what I felt inspired to share. And I understand that I'm not for everyone, but I was focusing so much on the external feedback that was numbers, that was views, that was analytics, that was comments, that it just really started to, you know, highlight this relationship with myself, because anything that anything within yourself that you're not good with, let's say, it's going to be reflected to you in the outer reality, right? So if you're not feeling confident in yourself, you're going to search for different evidence of feeling more confident, whether somebody says like, oh, you have such a confident walk about you, or you know, you've changed in this area of your life and you can tell that you're more self-aware. And like, you know, the brain, the ego especially, is always looking for that external feedback, right? That external feedback. But what we need to do, which is the hardest thing to do sometimes, is to go within and try to understand, why is it that I don't feel like my content is good enough when I'm trusting that it's coming from myself and that it's pure and honest and it's from my heart space, is what I feel called to share? Why don't I feel like that is good enough? Like, why am I paying so much attention to the words and the views of like strangers versus coming back to this place where this was all about sharing what came from my heart? And what I began to recognize, that if I was going to no longer be affected by negative comments or negative feedback from other people, because it is just all feedback, it can be judged as negative or positive, but in the end, you know, we're always just receiving feedback from the universe based on, you know, how we are showing up inside, right? Because the universe is your mirror. What you believe to be true about yourself will be reflected back to you in different ways. If I no longer wanted to be affected by the negative feedback that was presenting itself in my life in the form of comments and opinions of strangers or numbers in any way, if I was going to make the rule or was going to make the decision that that was no longer going to affect me, I also had to decide that I was going to be giving up the dopamine hit that comes from the positive comments, the numbers, the positive numbers, right? What I was going to judge as positive or negative. And what I found in this was that if I was going to no longer make the negativity mean anything about me, I had to also let go of making the positivity mean anything about me, right? So it's this power of neutrality, this power of maintaining neutrality in the ways of which you find that you're making things mean things about you. One thing that you learn in the Landmark Forum, I took the Landmark Forum like years ago in London, and you know, the whole point of that weekend was that basically life is empty and meaningless, and it's all about the meaning that you give it. So in each moment, in each scenario, you have a choice of what you're going to make something mean. And you know, a lot of us are on this journey of uncovering our past, uncovering our childhoods, and healing the inner child, right? To create a new meaning, right? That we were always whole, worthy, and complete on our own, and it was this journey of understanding that the bad things, or the unfortunate thing, the bad, right, it's all judgment, but the unfortunate things that may have happened in our childhood, we made mean things about us. Like, I am not worthy, I am not worthy of abundance in life, I'm not worthy of love, or I am unlovable, right? We're all on this journey of peeling back these layers and letting go of the meanings that we gave things at certain points in time in our lives, right? So because I recognized very much I was creating a lot of meaning around YouTube, I was creating a lot of meaning around Instagram, I was creating a lot of meaning around that comment section and what was happening there. And more often than not, I was making it mean unfortunate, negative, mean things about myself, right? I found that my brain was actually more focused on receiving negative feedback than it was in receiving the positive feedback. I began to understand that I needed to find this neutrality where the negative comments no longer affect me, the positive comments and the positive numbers no longer give me that dopamine hit. And this power of neutrality has changed my life, right? It has brought me back to this relationship and trust with self that I will continue to create whatever I feel like creating, and it doesn't matter because it comes from source. It's something beyond me, right? Because for the longest time I struggled. I'm like, why do I show up and be all vulnerable on the camera to the internet when I don't get anything back, right? I struggled with that, and I was very open with you, you know, through the years where I struggled with like not being able to see what the value is that I provide. I had to decide, and I have decided, that I am valuable. I am whole, worthy, and complete on my own, and numbers, comments, analytics, nothing like that from the content platforms that I produce content on mean anything, and this has changed everything for me. Right? So I want to ask you out there today, if you're listening, what are the places that you seek validation? It could be at the workplace. Maybe you constantly strive to get feedback or compliments from your employers or employees. Maybe it's like, you know, the way that you look. You want to receive compliments on the way that you look, right? Because what I've recognized through my journey on YouTube too, now that I mentioned that in the ways that I've, you know, sought out validation, is that the comment section has always highlighted my insecurities for me, right? So, you know, let's say in the past, someone might have commented, Zoey, like, you've gained weight, or like, Zoey, you're fat. I don't believe that I'm fat. I've made peace with my body. So those comments, you know, didn't affect me, right? Like, never affected me. They never stuck. It was like not, you know, even though it was a negative comment, it wasn't one that I focused on, right? Because it wasn't a trigger of mine. Because I'd already integrated that truth within myself that I love my body, right? I don't care what anyone says. It's kind of like, you know, if you were to go up to, let's say, you know, a bodybuilder who has like, you know, very small amount of to no body fat on them, and you were to say you're fat, like, they would not take that, right? Because they know that they're fit. That's their journey, right? It would be the same thing if someone's commented like, Zoey, your content sucks, right? Like, I would find that I was triggered by that. Or if someone said, Zoey, your content's weird. Or I remember one thing that really affected me was that when I moved back from Rome, people were like, you're boring now that you don't live in Rome anymore, right? Like, they would say things like that, and that was where I got triggered, was because I was leaving behind a previous identity and moving into a new identity, and that's where I felt insecure, right? So the comment section has always highlighted these insecurities for me. But it's interesting to see that the negativity that doesn't stick versus the negativity that does stick, right? So if somebody says, you know, same thing, if somebody says, Zoey, you're skinny, doesn't mean anything about me because like I'm peaceful in my body, right? Versus like in the past when I've had insecurities about like my eyes or even the mole on my face, when somebody would comment and be like, your eyes are crazy, or like, get that mole on your face removed, that would trigger me because I wasn't whole and complete with my eyes, or I wasn't whole and complete with the mole on my face. So it's been a gift throughout the years, right? It's been a gift because it's highlighted the places that I needed to go to work, and I did. And I found that I was integrating these small truths one at a time, on my appearance, on, you know, how I would speak, on what I would speak about. And I've integrated these truths like, my eyes are beautiful, the mole on my face is beautiful, it's unique. And that's been a gift of YouTube. But now I found that there's been such liberation in complete neutrality, in no longer making anything mean anything about me, right? And this was difficult to come by because, or difficult to discover for myself, because I found like, well, don't I just want more and more positivity? What if I could have no negativity? And I had to understand that if I was going to no longer get attached to negativity, I had to also detach from the opposite, which is the positivity. So to remain neutral, to trust myself. And how did I do that? Like, what did it look like? Because actually this has been a transformation that has happened relatively quickly in my life. It's been something that I've been searching for a long time, but I finally had these breakthrough moments. And things that were breakthrough for me was recognizing that this comment section is causing me a lot of inner turmoil, right? Good and bad. Like, it's just activating things in me. Like, it's just like triggering, it's like seeking validation. You might recognize like the same thing with like Instagram, right? Are you checking who's looking at your Instagram stories? Are you checking numbers on how many people like things, or like who liked things? Like, notice these places in which you're seeking validation from people or a specific person, right? So I recognized that this comment section was activating a whole lot in me. So I hired an assistant, and now my assistant manages my comment section. So by the time that I go in there, whenever that is, the majority of the negativity has been cleared out. So it's not something that I see, right? So I'm free to comment back on, you know, positive comments or write notes back to people when I feel like I can do that, right? When I feel like I have the capacity to do that. And that shifted and changed a lot for me because I created space. I created space between the place that was causing me a lot of inner turmoil and the place in which I was very reactive about, And then from that space, I was able to lean back and say, okay, well, what's going on here? I seem to attach to the negativity. You know, I'm seeking out positivity, but the negativity is what I seem to make mean all these things about me, all these things about me. And it's even though I want all that positive comments, I wish that all the negative was just positive. Even when I got the positive, it was very rare that I like really took that in. And so you know, I really decided that if I was gonna no longer make the negatively mean anything, the positive had to go too. And so I just strived for that neutrality, right? And I brought up this new frame, this new lens in my eyes that was like, where is it that I'm making things mean things about me and making things mean things about my path? And from that place, you know, I can go to write letters to my inner child, right? Because I know exactly what's triggering her. I know exactly where she's not feeling whole and complete inside. I can cry, I can identify emotions, I can identify feelings or patterns within myself. And this has liberated me. It's completely liberated me. And I know we'll always be on a journey of self-worth and self-love. But I want to tell you that this new concept of the power of neutrality and really having a closer look at what I was making things mean about me or where I was searching for validation has really allowed me to do some deep work. And I wanted to bring that forward to you today because I believe that it could truly help you. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching, for spending a piece of your day with me. And yeah, I mean, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.